Welcome back to Money Monday.
Happy Monday! This is Money Monday, where we talk about all things business and finances, and things we found out through our fuck ups, and hoping to help you through your whole entire successful journey. Okay. So today, let's talk about. Thank you. We've been practicing, guys. How many have we done of these? I don't know. A few.
I think this will be our fourth one.
Why do I feel like I've been doing this forever? Whatever.
Well, we were doing it initially just on our Instagram before we posted up longer, the extended versions, basically.
Valid. Okay, well, welcome back to both versions then.
Yep.
Cool. Today I actually wanted to talk about employees.
Ooh,
this is a good one, actually. I want to, start off by asking Shania, when is the right time to hire an employee?
I feel like a good time to hire employees whenever you, first of all, have a clear flow of whatever service or service that you provide, basically. So then that way they can duplicate it. But whenever you're trying to expand, so like for example, if our books are full and we needed to push it off to somebody else, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. When you feel like your workload is overflowing, that's when it's the right time to.
And you're ready to multiply.
Yeah. And also like delegate all your, the side work and stuff like that. Okay. But here is the hard part, right? So you're ready to hire somebody. You're ready to, go through all these candidates. How are you going to choose how to pay them?
I guess it depends on what exactly you're hiring for starters. And then I feel like, honestly, kind of like seeking your quote-unquote competition or your industry. And again, whatever it is that they're being hired for, also checking their industry as well. Because like, for example, if you're hiring for like an assistant manager, you want to first of all see what assistant manager even is for, or what their daily duties and stuff like that are, how much maybe assistant manager might already range, and then kind of base it on that. But I'm sure you also want to base it off of like how much you also are producing. Like as
there we go. Yeah. Yes. So yes to the whole checking out and seeing like, okay, well, how much is this? Let's say, how much is Walmart paying based on like, okay, these kind of employees, and how much is HDB paying for these kind of employees, and of course comparing it. But the biggest thing, your number one thing, is what is your budget? What can you afford? Because let's say HEB is paying $20 an hour and then Walmart's paying $18, but you can only afford $16, $17 an hour. Do not match these.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're going to put yourself under. So how would you go about, let's say you know your budget, how are you going to go about figuring out how much to pay them? This is fun.
I know, right?
It's a lot of questions today.
Okay, so I'm assuming obviously you have to play with your previous year's income or revenue, right? Then you probably want to deduct expenses, you want to deduct taxes probably, because you also have to pay employee tax. So I'm sure you also want to include that now into your new budget.
Which we will talk about.
Yeah. So regular taxes plus employee taxes. And then you also want to include like how much extra in inventory you're going to have to include, because again, depending on what they're being hired for will determine what exactly they're going to need.
Exactly.
And then if they're going to need, so like again, if you're hiring an assistant manager, for example, they're going to need certain apps maybe. So are those going to be memberships that you have to add on and stuff like that?
Right.
I'm assuming maybe like 20% of how much you make, maybe.
Okay, awesome. I'm so proud of her.
No, I'm just guessing.
No, that's like actually that was pretty spot on. So, okay, one of our biggest fuck ups. This is something that we definitely learned over the years. We just randomly hired people.
2 weeks before opening.
Dude, we randomly hired people. We brought on this big ass team. We basically came up with our own pay structure, because same thing. We were Googling, how do you pay employees? Like how do you figure this out? And basically Google is just like, wing it. Like there was no really like straightforward answers. So we winged everything. Now.
And that dug us into a deep hole.
Very deep hole.
On top of investing into the salon and everything that we were already stepping into, that
Exactly.
naturally was like new. Then yeah,
It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But now, when we are going to hire, eventually we do want an assistant.
for sure.
And when we do hire that, what we will be doing is pulling our profits. Or so there's two ways to do it. So you can either pull your business's profits from the previous year, like you were talking about,
Mhm.
and then you need to make sure that, of course, you are including like, okay, what is the employee tax going to be? How much am I wanting to pay them? So let's say your profit was like $100,000, right? Okay, of course you're not going to be like, I'm gonna hire somebody for $100,000. Whoa, whoa, whoa! No, no, no. We're probably going to take 20 to 30% of that. So it's either going to be $20,000 to $30,000. And then from there, that's when you're going to decide, okay, are they going to be salary? Are they going to be hourly?
Mhm.
And that's how you are going to choose. Now, if you're basing it off of your own income, because you got to remember that revenue that your business brings in
Mhm.
and income that you pay yourself is two separate things.
Yes.
So if you want it coming out of your own pocket, which why would you want that? But if you want it coming out of your
There's
own
no
pocket,
like benefits for your business by doing
no,
that.
exactly. Like pay yourself and then take the profits from your business and start, delegating your stuff.
Yeah.
Make your life easier, basically. But if you do take it out of your own income, and let's say the same thing, it's $100,000, I would still stick by doing that 20 to 30% range and making sure that it's not going to get you in a hole.
Now, would that be 20-30% after your personal deduction? So, like, for example, let's say you're paying yourself again based off of that $100,000 revenue that your business did.
Right.
Let's say you're paying yourself 20%. You're making 20,000, and then are you doing the 20 and 30% based for your employee based off of now 80,000?
Well, so this is already this is already came out of the business. So like this is like your natural income.
Oh, okay,
This is your
okay.
100,000. You're making $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't even include.
So you would still technically make your 20,000, and their 20% would also be.
Where are you getting 20,000 from?
I'm just bringing up a random number. Like, let's say you as a business owner, you're making profit from the business. The business is paying you. Let's say you're getting paid just 20,000 out of that 100,000. Now, whenever you hire an employee, are you basing the 20% or 30% off of the new, like deducting your 20,000 because technically you're getting paid from the business? It would now be 80,000, or are you still using it from the 100,000?
You lost me, girl.
How?
You completely lost me.
Okay, listen. You're getting paid from the business.
Right. You already have $100,000. That's what I'm telling you. Like literally, your income is $100,000.
But your personal income.
Your personal income.
Oh.
Your revenue, girl, is over here, which was the 100,000, which we talked about. And then
business revenue.
Business revenue. Yeah. And my income
is 100,000.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I'm saying they can split it up where either you can take it out of your business profits, which 110% highly recommend doing this part. But if you decide to take it out of your personal income, which is the $100,000 that you get paid already yearly.
Got you. So it's kind of like you're sharing your income.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay. That's
and some people do it because they want all their profits for their business going into some other type of investments. So that's why there's two different ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. I'm like, whoa, wait. Why are we paying?
I thought you were just saying that the business as a whole. You were using the example based off of the 100,000.
Okay,
like
yeah,
the business was what was making the 100,000, and then that's why I was asking. Like, are you doing the 20% after your? And I just threw out the random number of 20,000.
Yeah, it's just two separate scenarios. Gotcha. So even then though you're getting paid $100,000, but you still need to take care of your own personal expenses, right? So let's just say it's another $20,000 in expenses personally. So you really only have $80,000 to play with. And then from there, they would do the 30 to 20%.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I was asking.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would still deduct.
Absolutely.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You still want to make sure you're going to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry if I confused y'all. That was genuine. That was actually just like a genuine question for like myself. I'm just trying to understand.
I'm like, hold on, I haven't had coffee yet. No, it's cool because I mean maybe
you kept up with all the mental math.
Maybe there's some other people who were confused too, so that's cool. Okay, so that's how we would pay them. Yeah. Now there's two different ways that you can have an employee. Well, kind of. So there's an actual employee. These are called your W-2 employees. Okay.
Oh yeah.
These are the employees that you as a business owner are actually going to be paying taxes on. Mm-hmm. It's a 50-50 split. Okay. Here's another thing that we fucked up on. When we got employees, we made them W-2 employees. when I had to, when I actually filed their like paychecks and stuff, it told me I owed money. And I'm like, why do we owe money? Like, that doesn't even make sense because you're also paying 50% of their taxes. And that's the benefit of them being an employee. It's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. Okay. Then there's another one. It's called a 1099 contractor. This one gets really like iffy, spotty kind of. A contractor is basically their own business. They run their own show. You technically, as a business owner, are only hiring a contractor to do a job you technically cannot tell them. Like, you're not
legally.
Yeah, you can't tell them like you have to be here at 9 a.m. till this time because they're their own personal. I don't want to call them a business.
No, they're not a business. Like, kind of like they're their own manager in a sense.
Yep.
That's why a lot of people correlate contractors with commissions because they're able to control their schedule. It's a little bit more flexible. And that's why with W-2, they have more set schedules.
Yes.
Like, you're going to be here literally 9 to 5 because of the fact that they are paying more hourly or salary.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, before you went into the commission or the contractor route, I wanted to kind of take it back for those who may be confused on why it is that you pay 50%-ish, right? You have to remember, if you've ever worked a job, right, there comes a part where it literally asks you to fill in the zeros, the ones, the twos, and so on. Most of the time, I think it's if you fill in a 0 as like a dependent, right, that you're not claiming anybody, that's the one where like they take out more taxes and then in the end of the year they kind of like return it. For that, because they're taking out more taxes, are you as the employer having to match how much they're taking out, or like?
No, so that has nothing to do. So that has to do with them getting paid.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's always, let's say every single paycheck they get $100. Every single paycheck they're still getting it's FICA, Social Security, or Medicare that's getting taken out.
Okay.
You're literally matching their 50% to that. Does that make sense?
Matching the government's 50%?
Yeah,
or
whatever the government says that we owe for that. Let's say they have to pay $10, I have to pay $10.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it sucks.
Yeah.
But
and does that change based on the number that they put down?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I was just curious.
Oh, you're talking about the way that they get paid?
No, not the way that they get paid. Like, again, because as a business, you have to pay the taxes, how you were saying, the 50-50 split. So, for example, if someone puts down like a 1, right? Most of the time they don't get as much taxes taken out of their check.
Okay.
And then how you're going back to that 50-50 split whenever you do have to pay later, are you matching the employees' taxes,
so what
or are you matching the government?
Yeah, whatever the employee pays is what we pay. Gotcha. It's literally a 50-50.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. And
so if they owe money at the end of the year, then you too owe money at the end of the year technically?
No. They owe money because they got too much money back.
Got you.
Yeah. So we're literally just it's just 50-50. They're oh, you know what? Okay, I get what, yeah.
I'm like trying to figure out the best way to word it. So I'm not trying to confuse them.
If they have like withholdings, or they want, let's say they claim, I don't know how many dependents or whatever. Let's say they're trying to get their whole check. We're still paying our 50% share, which is why, and then that's on the government. So if it's $100, let's say every single paycheck, they say that we both owe $10. Regardless of what the employee does over here, we're still paying that $10.
Got you. So it's kind of like they have that set amount. Like the government's like, hey, regardless as an employee, you're going to pay this amount. And then at the end of the year, we'll kind of deal with them as separate.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So we're doing our part and then they're doing whatever they want to do over here.
Got you.
Yeah. Okay. These are good questions.
I hope
these are really
didn't confuse y'all. Yeah. I hope actually that built
helped
a little bit
you
more
out.
Clarity, because being on the other side of taxes, again, more on the employee side of taxes, like it does come with a lot of like twists and turns and things that can get very confusing. So I hope this is answering some questions that y'all may have too.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so back to contractors.
So you do the 50-50 split. That's one way, W-2s. Then you can offer, you said 1099s.
Yes.
That's, like I said, typically more commissions based. This honestly goes more for like people that offer services like beauty services, real estate agents, people in sales, stuff like that, because of the fact that technically you're able to build up your own schedule. But again, you're only getting commission. We're not really paying you unless you technically sell something.
So it's not even just commission. You can also get paid hourly. They can also have their set rates. Like, oh, okay, it's I have to get paid $20 an hour, or I have to get paid $200 a day. They get to set their own rates. Pretty much, they get to set every single thing. They're their own boss, basically. But the only, I guess you could say, benefit out of that one is you aren't paying taxes on them. They pay their own taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are two different ways to do it. And honestly, we've tried both.
Like she said, they have their benefits whenever it comes to the taxing route. But again, whenever you're doing it more from like your business standpoint outside of taxes, you have to identify like also what type of person are you as a owner or a manager or whatever it is that you are. Are you the type to be able to manage people and tell them, I need you to do XYZ? Or are you kind of more like us, who's more mentor based?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of just like, I want you to do your own thing. I'm going to help grow you and lead you to the right direction. And whatever you do with that information is on you. Kind of
Right.
thing.
And then also the other
That's
thing
why we went into booth rentals.
Right. The other thing you have to like consider as well is, okay, yes, at the moment it does suck that you're paying those taxes, right?
Yeah.
But you also have to understand having employees does have benefits as well.
Sure.
So it's just weighing it out, honestly, seeing which one. I don't think there's
like a right or wrong.
Yeah, there really isn't.
Yeah.
Again, we tried both, and it's really up to you, like what actually works for your business. If you are a quote unquote micromanager, you are not going to want a contractor. Do not have a contractor, because we are free minded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have your employee. You know, you're going to have it every single way that you want to. But if you're cool with someone being more like running their own show, then get a contractor.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're barely stepping into business, as shitty as it may feel in the process, I honestly recommend to try all of them.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
Try the employee route at least for 3 to 6 months. See how you feel. Talk to people who do have employees. See, what route they took, and obviously talk to people who have results from it. And if you find out that, this for some reason it's still feeling like it's not flowing properly, then go to the 1099 route. Talk to people who have that type of employee and so on. And then if that's not working, then more go into like a rental space or into really just more collaborations and see how you feel with that. That's exactly what we did. We tried employee, didn't like it. Then we did 1099, didn't like it. Now we're into booth rentals, more collaborations, and literally like that's our bread and butter. That's how we thrive. And again, we attached it to our personality types. We're not managers, we're more mentors.
No, exactly. And then also another thing is when you do pay your employees or contractors or whatever, there's so many different options for you to go through. We've done Gusto. Gusto was actually amazing.
Yeah.
They do have it's like a membership thing that you do have to pay though. So, and they were a little bit pricey, but Gusto was still pretty cool. They do everything for you from filing your new employee. You put in their hours, they can clock in, clock out. They send their tax forms at the end of the year. Like they're literally your HR assistant.
Basically.
We switched to Square. Square does the same thing. Square is pretty great. And I know there's a few other apps out there too. Again, you got to do your research, see what benefits you and your business. And then you can do, I honestly, this is like my least favorite, but if you have to do it this way and you know how to do it, then you can cut your own checks. Sure. That's going to waste a lot of time, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Unless you have somebody who's doing the math and the back end.
Exactly. For you. But then especially if you really do have like an actual employee, like a W-2 employee, you don't know the taxes.
Yeah, you just have to do like a rough estimate.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you're getting it all correctly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so again, really,
I feel like for that part, that's where you would probably have to like be working with a CPA, right? Or who would you work with to make sure that the math is right on that?
So there's calculators. I know Gusto provides a free calculator, but again, you just got to make sure that it's spot on. Why? Because like if you do mess up on someone's paycheck, then at the end of the year, that's where you can actually get in trouble. Because if you aren't paying the correct taxes, then that's when they're going to be like, yeah, you actually owe way more taxes on Stephanie or some shit. You know what I mean? Yep. So honestly, just delegate it out. It's only a few, not a few couple bucks, but it might be like $50 to $100 a month. And I think it's highly worth it. And by that time, and by that time, if you're hiring an employee, you should already have that in your budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, before you even plan on getting into the employee route, I know all of this information can seem very scary, growing your team is such a blessing. Let's start there. So, first of all, congratulations if you're at that point and you're actually paying attention to this video. But number two, also, don't let what we're saying kind of scare you away from going into the employee route, or do not go the wrong route and have people under the table. It's very important that you actually do this legally, because yes, there are its pros and cons, but there's also a lot more pros whenever it comes to your business, because you're going to be able to track your revenue. You're going to be able to potentially get into bigger investments. You're going to be able to actually like grow and stuff like that. And last thing you want to do is have worked so hard to build up your business to this point, and all because of employees kind of like tear it down because you decided to do that incorrectly. So I've seen that happen. So that's why it is that I'm kind of throwing in that disclaimer. Do everything by the book or legally whenever it comes to this part, because you just basically want to save your ass and save your business's ass in the long run.
No, I agree.
And you never know how people are going to flip on you. So it's better to have paper trails, honestly.
Agreed. So get your employee, get someone to help you. Start off with one.
Yeah.
One.
Slowly start scaling up and building a little bit.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you can get like a mentor to help guide you in this process, highly recommend.
Agreed.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And if you do, you can actually drop some of them in our comments. We're always happy to help you. Like, share, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Thanks for coming. I'm so excited for you to hire your first employee.
Honestly, congratulations.
Let us know if this helped.
You're going to thrive.
We do this every Monday. Come join us. Bye.